Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I am so excited to do. It's gonna be all about the Sephora Spring Savings event. Oh yeah. So this event is kicking off for Rouge members on a Friday, April 1st. I will put all of the dates, all of the codes, all the percentages, all that information will be in the description box, but it is time for a Sephora sale. I'm gonna be giving you my top recommendations, the products I think that you should add to cart. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome. So I do always show an outfit of the day. So today I have this dress on. So it does zip in the back and I can't zip it all by myself. So that's why I should have moonwalked backwards for sure. I do just have my slippers on still, but just a bit of a longer dress here. And then it kind of cuts out and ties right here. It has like these like butterfly sleeves, I think is what they're called. I bought this last year. I think I bought it from Shein when I first moved to Vegas. I bought just like some cute casual dresses. I've been wearing quite a few of them, but we had 90-degree weather in Vegas over the weekend. I was actually in Napa Valley for my birthday, so I missed it, but my first instinct was to be upset. Coming from the Midwest, it's like, oh no, I missed a nice weekend, but it's like, I live here now. We're gonna have plenty of warm weekends coming up ahead. But now we have beautiful like 80-degree weather and I'm just very happy about that. So I figured my outfit should match my happy mood. I did also do a little bit of filming on this look. I used the Natasha Denona pastel palette on my eyes. I filmed that for my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word. I also did first impression videos on both the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Foundation and the Dior Backstage Flash Corrector Concealer. Those are gonna be both going up on my TikTok as a first impression, and that is by Samantha March. So I will have all of that information as well in my description box. I did just do a Sephora haul because I typically shop before the sale, like every time. So if you haven't seen that haul video, I will link it, but I have only used those products one time so far, like the Natasha Denona palette, the Danessa Myricks Dior. I have the Huda Beauty Cheeky Tint on. So I can't really put those in this video to let you know since I've only tried them the one time. But again, you can check out that haul video, and I have done a recent Sephora follow-up video also for a haul, so if you'd want to see it more in-depth, I have a full Sephora playlist that I can also link in the description box if you want to see try-ons, reviews, and that sort of thing. So I do have a dedicated playlist all to my Sephora videos. I also link everything that I'm wearing in my description box. I have a lot of products to get through in this video. Sometimes I just do like top 10, top 20, things like that. Sometimes I do a full overhaul, and for this video I decided to just do it all. So grab a snack, grab a coffee, whatever it is that you need, pause Bridgerton, and let's talk about some Sephora favorites. Let's start with foundations. I narrowed it down to 4. So I have 2 newer ones that I really enjoy. One is from Nars, and this is their light reflecting foundation. I use the shade M2 in Santa Fe. I also really enjoy from Charlotte Tilbury, Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. I did actually do a beauty battle on these products. I did choose the Nars over the Charlotte Tilbury, but I said how much I really enjoyed them both, and I go into them both very often. In the Charlotte Tilbury, I have the shade 6 medium, but again, these are both kind of that medium buildable coverage. They feel very weightless on the skin, and they give a very natural, just like your skin but better finish, and I've been super impressed with these. And then some older ones. One is from Urban Decay, and by older, this came out last year, but from Urban Decay, their Stay Naked Hydromaniac. I saw a lot of you purchase this in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. This was a 50% off earlier in the week at Ulta, and Sephora usually does price match products that they also carry for 50% off, which is sneaky, but I get it. And I saw a lot of people from my affiliate links. You know, my links are affiliate links, and I can look to see what products are being sold. I can't see like who's buying them, but I can see what products are being sold after clicking on my links. A lot of people purchased this one. I hope that you love it, but if you didn't grab it at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, you could still get it for, you know, whatever your percentage is for the Sephora sale. The shade that I have is 41 Light Medium. I think it's fantastic. It's more of that tinted moisturizer, but it still gives really nice coverage. I actually took that one to Napa Valley with me on my trip for my birthday. I wore that all day at the wineries. It held up beautifully. We had really nice weather. It was in the high 70s there. It was very sunny. My makeup still looked flawless at the end of the night. Highly recommend. And just one of my holy grails, this is from Dior. This is their Backstage Face and Body. I don't know if you can see the line, but it is about right here is my line on my foundation. Just absolute favorite. I got the shade 2.5N. This is more of a light coverage foundation, but it's so beautiful. It's so natural. Again, it's really one of those kind of second skin foundations. It's so lightweight. It's perfect for warm weather time if that's what you're going into. Like, I'm going to be wearing the Dior so much right now, and I just think that it's fabulous. I recommend it in a lot of my Sephora videos, but you can't go wrong with it. I had a really hard time narrowing down concealers. Please don't judge me for this. But one of my favorites I have from Nars. This is their pot concealer, and this is the soft matte. This is something that I'm still a really big fan of. I'm dealing with some breakouts today, probably from flying and that sort of thing. And this is what I go into if you are someone who really struggles with acne. When I was really dealing with a lot of hormonal acne, the Nars Soft Matte is what I used. It just covers your red spots, acne, anything like that. It covers so well and it really stays. So this is one that I just absolutely love. I use the shade Creme Brulee. Another old favorite of mine, another that I took on the plane with me to Napa Valley, this is from Armani, the Power Fabric Concealer. I have the shade 3.5. This is the most lightweight, most easy to blend. I can blend this concealer with my fingers. It's so smooth. It's so thin that you would think you wouldn't get a lot of coverage with it, but it just does something magical to the skin. It's one of my favorite concealers. I should probably consider purchasing another one because mine's kind of in rough shape and I'm really getting down there. I said that I just placed a Sephora order for the sale, but I mentioned this in yesterday's Will I Buy It video where I talk over all the new makeup releases that my friend Angelica Nikvis is coming. She lands on Friday in Vegas and we are planning to shop in Sephora here in Vegas. So stay tuned because I'll have kind of like a vlog style video with Angie going up. And again, if you caught yesterday's Will I Buy It, there's a lot of new releases that have my attention right now. So we gotta go shopping. All right, another new concealer. I just started trying this out recently, but I have used it well over 5 times at this point, so I thought I could still mention it. This one is from Benefit, and it is their Bright On Concealer. I did not like their original concealer. I was not a fan. I thought it was so thick and so dry, and it just did nothing for my under eyes. This one is definitely much more of like a serum consistency. It's much more lightweight. It's easier to blend out. I was much more impressed with this one, and I've been reaching for it so much. The shade that I've been using is Lychee. This one, again, is fairly newer to me. This is from KVD Beauty, and this is the Good Apple Concealer. This is super interesting to me because when I first used this in a trying new makeup video on YouTube, I did not think I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be too dry and too heavy, but it's one of those that after I let it sit on my skin and kind of warm up for a while, it looks so much better. It's very smoothing. It is very full coverage, so if that's what you're looking for in a concealer, this would be a good one for you. But it just does something like this really nice smoothing and kind of lifting effect with the under eyes that I ended up being very impressed with this one. Now, I do have the shade Light 109. I do think it's about 2 shades too light for me though. So if you are a close shade match to me, or you kind of go off of my shade match, I would say it probably another 2 shades up would be a lot better for me, especially once my summer tan starts coming back. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to use this one, but I ended up really enjoying it. And then I recommend this concealer so often. This is from Lancome. This is the Tint Idole concealer. I have the shade Buff N. This one is very nice. It's just kind of one of those, like, I just keep going back to it and I just keep going back to it. I don't really have a ton of favorite concealers, and I kind of hop around quite a bit, but I brought this one to Napa Valley with me. I'm just very impressed with it. I can use it on my under eyes and it's nice and smooth. It's not too heavy. I can use it on my face, like to cover any blemishes or red marks, and the shade matching is really good for me that way too. This is just one of those that it's just a solid concealer, and I keep going back to it. I do have a primer I thought that I would sneak in here. This is from Tatcha. This is the Liquid Silk Canvas. So Tatcha is a pretty expensive brand, so if you can be getting a discount on them, that's always a good thing. I do like a lot of Tatcha skincare, but I was particularly impressed too with the Liquid Silk Canvas. I've actually gone through a full size, and then I got a set from Tatcha, and this was in the set, and I was so excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, I'm so happy to have this primer back. But this is just one of my favorites, and it pairs well with a lot of different foundations. It doesn't really change the finish of a foundation or anything like that too much, but it really does a nice job of blurring out the pores, and this is one that impresses me. I'm excited that I have a fresh one so I can start using it again. I put in 2 different setting sprays. If you know me, you know I love the Urban Decay All Nighter. A lot of us recommend this. It's really great for keeping your makeup in place, but also a newer one to the market is from Benefit, and this is the Super Setter. Both of these I think are fantastic. I think they're pretty similar to one another as well, but if you're looking for a long-lasting makeup spray, day, these are some good options for you. I'll include 2 of my favorite powders before we jump into the cheek products, because that's a whole, I could have made just a separate video all on that. But 2 of my favorite powders. Again, if you're new here, hi. Hope that you'll subscribe and stay a while. You try to say this in the beginning, but I always forget. But I like to, what do I say? I talk about new makeup, try new makeup, chat about all things beauty. Hopefully you'll subscribe, get to know me. I think that I'm quite fun. But if you are new here, you might not know that some of my favorite powders, one is from Charlotte Tilbury, her Flawless Finish Airbrush Powder. Obviously I have a large pan of this. So lightweight, it's so great for the under eyes especially. I love setting concealer, especially if I have a thicker concealer, kind of like the KVD Good Apple. This is such a good match with that. And then again, if you don't know me, if you Google my name, this is one of the top Google searches. Not that I'm asking you to Google my name, because when you're going through a public divorce, that's super fun. But if you were to, you would see Samantha March is tied to the Dior Powder No Powder, because I love this one so much. I talk about it so much. This is like my 5th powder that I have from them. It can fix any foundation, any bad skin days that I'm having. It's so blurring, it's so smoothing, it's so long wearing. It has saved me over and over again. So I wear 3N on my face. From Charlotte Tilbury, I use the 2 medium, or I do also use the Dior 2N on my under eyes. It's actually what I have on today. I used it to set the Dior Backstage concealer. I'm just gonna jump into cheek products, blushes, bronzers, duos, a face palette. We're just gonna do it all. We're just gonna do it all together right here. So one product, I have loved this one for a very long time. This is from Kaja, and this is their sculpting trio. So I have the shade 01 Butter Up. So you have a matte blush, you do also have a highlight, and then lastly a cream bronzer. And you can see that I have panned my cream bronzer, and then at the top here you do also have a mirror. So I really like that it's the blush, the highlighter, and the bronzer. I use all 3 really consistently. I especially really love the bronzer. This is such nice quality. I bought this kind of on a whim, and it's ended up being one of my favorite products. Again, big fan of Dior. I really like their Dior Forever Natural Bronze Bronzer. I bought the shade Warm Bronze. I really like the packaging on it, and the bronzer is so nice. It's so smooth, it's so blendable, it builds very nicely. It's just one of those that looks very natural on the skin, and I love a good bronzer moment. This one from Dior. Again, Dior's expensive, so if you can get it for a discount, we celebrate that. From Natasha Denona, I ended up really liking her Rose Cheek Duo. I go into this one quite a bit. I was wearing it a lot last week. You have a cream blush in here, and then also a highlighter. I really like these duos from Natasha Denona. They retail for $19, and then if you get a discount on top of that, I find these to be such a steal. This one I was just particularly impressed with. I still continue to really enjoy the blush. I haven't had any like hard pan issues or anything really like that with this one that I've heard some other people kind of complain about, and I thought the highlighter was super beautiful as well. I just love this little mini. I go into it quite a bit. This is a newer product to me, but I can't stop wearing this. I bought this on a whim. It was a total impulse purchase, but this is from Iconic London, and this is their Silk Glow Duo in Rose Gold. So they have 2 different shades. I have the one in Rose Gold. This is so stunning. I actually have the blush and the highlight on today. I used the Huda Cheeky Tint blush, and then I topped it with this blush in here, and this blush is beautiful. It's a little bit more on that radiant side. It's a beautiful kind of rosy pink color. It's so gorgeous. And then we also have the highlighter in here as well, which again, just really nice highlight. These products are so easy to use. It just kind of popped out at me on the Sephora website, and I was like, I definitely don't need that, but I'm gonna spend, I believe this was $39. I was like, I'm gonna do it anyways, and I brought this to Napa Valley with me. Like, I'm so impressed by it. This one was a recommendation from so many of you. I kept seeing it in my comment section. This is from Rose Inc, and this is one of their cream blushes. I purchased the shade Ophelia, and if you are into cream blushes, I would highly recommend this one. It was a beautiful shade. It just has such a nice consistency where it's so easy, once again, to just build it up, blend it out. It's not too much, it's not overwhelming. It doesn't leave any sort of stripiness to my cheek. It doesn't pick up my foundation in any sort of strange way. And it lasts, like, it has a really good wear time to it. I know a lot of people rave about these from Rose Inc. This was the first product that I tried from them, and gotta say, I was impressed. I feel like I've said that quite a bit in the last few minutes here. From Charlotte Tilbury, her Cheek to Chic blushes. Again, I recommend these quite a bit, and since I'm doing kind of the bigger wrap-up video, wanted to be sure I mentioned this because, again, it's just one of those products that I keep going back to so often. I have the shade Pillow Talk, and I think that it's absolutely gorgeous. I usually just swirl it all together and apply it to my cheeks. It's beautiful, it's long wearing, it's easy to blend out, it's easy to build up. I think the Cheek to Chics, these are expensive. I want to say they're $40. But I remember hearing so many people rave about them when I was first getting on YouTube, and once I was finally able to try them, I was like, all right, I get what's going on here. And then also from Charlotte Tilbury, I have her Nude-gasm face palette. This is a really nice palette. I kind of went back and forth on it, but if it's one of those that if you're considering buying, I would say get it at a discount. Inside you have two different highlights and then a contour and a bronzer, or this, I've used this as like a glowy blush also. Just depends on what it is that you want to do, but I really like these shades. The contour and the bronzer I definitely go into the most. I don't highlight as much as I used to these days, so that's why I don't use the highlights as much. But again, I think that the quality is really nice. Charlotte, I just really like Charlotte Tilbury as a brand overall, but especially some of her cheek products, the blushes, this face palette, very impressed with. The product that I'm wearing today is from Patrick Ta, and this is the She's Sculpted, the Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. So I have both of these shades on today. I especially really like the Cream Contour in here. I reach for that even sometimes just solo. The bronzer is also really nice though. I like the packaging on these. You know, more expensive. Patrick Ta is a more expensive brand, but I think these face shades work so well. A little bit of a newer product. This is from Milk Makeup. This is their Bionic Bronzer. So I just purchased this recently from Sephora. Tried it in a Trying New Makeup. I was more impressed than I thought that I was going to be. I typically prefer a cream bronzer versus a liquid bronzer, but I can get down with a liquid bronzer. But I did buy the Milk Bionic blushes, and I didn't necessarily love them. So I was kind of like, I'm not sure how I'll feel about the bronzer. It is so good. I just put a little on the back of my hand and apply with a damp sponge. Again, kind of the same terms that I'm gonna use the bronzers here, but buildable, blendable, it looks more natural. It has a hint of a glow to it without being too overwhelming. This is such a nice product. I would highly recommend from Milk Makeup. I have a couple here from Rare Beauty. Obviously, I'm going to recommend the bronzer stick. I mean, I have been raving about this. This keeps selling out so many places. The Rare Beauty website, the Sephora website. I hope they have shades restocked for the sale because this is a gorgeous product. It is so, I've never felt such a smooth cream bronzer on my face. It blends out so well. It's so natural. You can just like pile on this bronzer and it's still gonna look so natural. I have the shade Power Boost, which works great for me. And then also the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the shade Encourage. So this one is a glowy finish versus a matte finish blush. They have both in the line. I really did not like the matte finish blushes. I would not recommend those. I thought they were very dull. They just made my skin look kind of like one-dimensional. The glowy blushes are beautiful. Encourage was such a pretty shade. You just need a little bit and it goes a long way, like 2 dots on the skin, and it's gonna go a long way. It's gonna stay well, it's gonna blend well. This is such a pretty blush. To finish this off, I do have one more product from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the highlight wand. I'm hoping these are going to be back in stock at Sephora for the sale. I know Charlotte just launched a few new launches. She came out with a new Pillow Talk collection that, again, I touched on in yesterday's new makeup releases video. I am almost out of my Pillow Talk highlight wand, and that's one of the shades that was coming back with that collection, and I'm really hoping it's at Sephora because I would like to purchase another one because I'm like having to squeeze quite a bit out when I go to use it. This was one of my original favorites from Charlotte Tilbury and one of the first liquid highlighters that I ever really fell in love with. Her wands in general I think are great. The blush wand, the contour wand, but the highlight wand especially just continues to be a favorite of mine. To jump over into some lashes, if you are a fan of magnetic lashes or you've wanted to try magnetic lashes, I really do like the ones from Velour. So you can also purchase a set on the Sephora website where it comes with the liner / adhesive. You can use it as an eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner, or it is also the adhesive for the lashes. Or if you have that, you can also just purchase the lashes separately. So the ones that I have, it just says the Magnetic Effortless Lashes. I was really impressed with these. I reviewed them maybe like last month in a follow-up video, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I was thinking it would maybe irritate my eyes because I have very sensitive eyes, but I found this so easy to work with. I don't necessarily like to use the adhesive as a liquid liner. I like to use one of my favorite liquid liners instead, and then I can just use a smaller amount and place it right on my lash line, and then you just pop the lash on. Like, it's so easy to just and there it goes. It just was wild to me how simple it was. I still don't feel the most confident that these are going to be the most long wearing. Like the wind almost blew them off one day. I mean, we had quite gusty winds here in Vegas, but I was like, it's about to blow my lashes off. But even if I just want to wear lashes for a few hours or so, the magnetic lashes are super easy to apply. Two of my favorite mascaras. These should not come as a shock. The Rare Beauty mascara. Honestly, if you haven't tried it, like, I just really want you to try it during the sale. You get your percentage off, and this is just my favorite mascara. It makes the lashes longer, more voluminous, kind of more like fluffy looking, darker. It does not transfer. It will not move. It's my favorite, hands down. I also really do enjoy the Lawless One and Done mascara. You really only need one coat with this one. Again, it's gonna make your lashes longer and fuller and darker. And again, it's not gonna have any transfer. That's my biggest thing with mascaras. I don't wear false lashes a lot, so finding a good mascara that's really gonna stay on me is super important, and the Rare and the Lawless are great ones. I make a lot of videos about eyeshadow palettes. Specifically, I do a series every single month where I talk about all of the eyeshadow palettes that I wore throughout that past month. I have a lot of eyeshadow focused videos. I have a whole playlist if you're interested in more. So I wanted to just grab out a few of my top favorites to share for this video, since again, I knew it was gonna be a longer one. But again, if you don't know me, let me tell you that I love Natasha Denona palettes. I mean, so many of what I would recommend for the sale would just be Natasha Denona in general. I really enjoy her midi palettes, which is like the retro palette here. These are $65. Again, still very expensive. Great to be able to get them on sale. Or just her mini palettes, which are $25. Again, to get those on sale, I think that's fantastic. She just has some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I can't recommend them enough, but the retro is definitely a favorite of mine. Now, obviously, she has a lot of palettes, so it's gonna be whatever your color story is, your color preferences. I love these kind of romantic, like pinky tones, the jewel tones in here. I fell deep in love with the retro palette. I did also want to include the Glam face palette because this was a different style for Natasha. It includes 5 eyeshadows, a cream blush, and then also a highlighter. There are 2 different shades. This one is the light, and I am so impressed. I use this so often. I considered bringing this to Napa Valley with me, but I was so paranoid it would break on the plane. And I think that it's beautiful. The eyeshadow's stunning. The face, I mean, again, if you're looking for kind of like an all-in-one palette, I would highly recommend that one. Also from Patrick Ta, I was very impressed with the Major Dimension palette. Now he is also coming out with the Major Dimension 2, which has more rosy tones to it. I mentioned this in yesterday's Will I Buy It video. I said I am gonna purchase it. These are $68. I paid full price for this one, but don't have any regrets. I use it frequently. I really like that we have the cream shadows in here. The mattes were super easy to blend. The shimmer shades are just beautiful and really make an eye look pop. But I'm gonna be really excited because I'm a Rouge member to get the 20% off on the second eyeshadow palette. I love the rosy tones, some of my favorites. So I'm gonna be picking up that one. But if you like more of the browns, I would really suggest this one. Or, you know, assuming the quality is going to be the same in the second palette, I would suggest that, and I'm gonna be buying it. From Charlotte Tilbury, I do like her quads. They are more expensive, they're $53, so with the discount is great. And I usually say if there's one that you think you'll go to over and over again, or one that's like a little different in your collection, but you still think that you'll use it often, those are the ones that I would recommend. I love the green lights personally. I have used this palette for a couple years now, and I think that it's fantastic. I get such pretty looks with it, and this was one of the first palettes that ever got me over to the green side. Was this little quad from Charlotte Tilbury. I do also like the Pillow Talk if you're more into the kind of more of the like neutral pink, rosy pink side. I would also recommend the Pillow Talk because they are nice quality. I just think they are pretty expensive, so I typically would kind of always recommend to get them at a discount. Move over to lips. So a newcomer that I really enjoy is from Merit Beauty. These are their signature lipsticks. I started trying out the shade Slip. I started trying out the shade Slip, which I think is really beautiful. So this one it's a little bit more on the sheer side. Like it's not quite as opaque as some of my other lipsticks. It's not a super satiny lipstick because that's not my favorite either. My dog has joined us if you just saw her tail. And I think Slip is just a really beautiful nude. I think that these are very comfortable. They're not the absolute most long wearing, but they're really easy to reapply, and I've been impressed with these. Favorite glosses of mine from Huda Beauty, the Silk Balm. This one here is the Honey Silk Balm, so it has just like a slight kind of like warm gold tone to it. Also, just the original Silk Balm kind of gives you a very light pink. Those are both beautiful. My original one is about gone. I've been scraping at it. It's been in my project pan, almost through with it. I also have the Honey Balm. I'm just really impressed with this formula. It's very smooth. It's not sticky at all and just gives the lips a really nice shine. And then from Lawless Beauty, you can see that I am about out of the Forget the Filler lip gloss. So this is gonna make your lips definitely look bigger, but not have any sort of that tingly feeling to it. And just like, it really just makes your lips like pow pow. And I love wearing it with like a pink or a nude type of lip liner, and then adding this on top and getting my fuller lips. But these are some of my favorites. They're always with me. And of course, one more time, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury lip liners and the Matte Revolution lipsticks. You can't go wrong with these. I was so hesitant to purchase her lip products because they are more expensive, and I don't think I've ever recommended a lip liner more than I have the one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a swatch in Iconic Nude. It is so long wearing. It's not going to move on your lips. They're just my favorite. I have so many shades. And then one of my favorite lipsticks is in Very Victoria. I prefer the Matte Revolution line for the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks because I like a more matte look, but she does also have the Kissing formula, which is going to be more on that satiny side if that's what you prefer. But again, her lipsticks are just so long wearing. They're not going to move. They're just some of my absolute favorites. All right, we're going to wrap it up with fragrances and we will be done. Hope you found this helpful. One of my favorites, Tom Ford. The Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. So good. I bought this several months ago and I just instantly became obsessed with it. This one is more of the travel version. These fragrances are pretty pricey, but I would not mind having the full size. Even as we come into the summer, like I thought it was a really great winter fragrance for sure. It's a little bit more like the name says, like tobacco, a little bit more on that woodsy side. Oh, it's just, I can't describe fragrances yet. I haven't gotten to that point, but it's like a sexy vanilla, kind of like a unisex scent at the same time. Was I saying shade? I might have been saying shade. A favorite though. Favorite. I purchased it off Michelle Wong's recommendation and Michelle did not steer me wrong there. And then also I just bought this one, but I took it to Napa Valley with me. I got a little sample size. This is from Jo Malone. This is the Wood Sage and Sea Salt Cologne. So I had this in my last Sephora haul. It was just I think it was a 100 point perk, but I thought this was a really decent size. I sprayed it in that video for the first time. I fell in love with it. I took it to Napa. I wore it the entire weekend. I keep wearing it. Wore it to my birthday party last night. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. Once again, like the wood sage in there, and then it has like this also this really like fresh scent to it as well. I think this one might be better for like spring, summer, but I think I'm gonna buy, like I want to get like a bigger version of this. Maybe not like the full size, but at least like a travel size like this one from Tom Ford, like to have something kind of in between, because I have a feeling like I'm gonna go through this small size quickly, but I really liked it. I know a lot of people like Jo Malone fragrances. I haven't tried a lot myself. I haven't always been super into fragrances, but I'm really trying these days to be better at it, and I thought that was a good one. All right, after that, that is it. That is what I would recommend from the Sephora sale. I hope that you found this helpful. I have so much fun doing these videos and just talking about some of my favorites. Again, I'm gonna have everything linked down below if you do any shopping through the affiliate links. I know all of us say thank you so many times because it really does help us support our channel. So thank you so much if you do that. I'm really curious, what are you gonna be buying? I will definitely be doing a shopping vlog, so stay tuned for that because there are a few more things that I'm gonna be picking up. And again, I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.